So what kinds of risks or blind spots do you see most often in how companies manage contingent workers?
Well, there are many risks and blind spots in this whole world of non-employees or contingent workers, particularly because of the lack of visibility, not knowing exactly who's working for a business, who might have site access, who might need required certifications or qualifications, if they're trading as company contractors, their insurances or lack thereof. So the risk exposure can be quite broad and vast for companies, and with that lack of visibility of who those humans are doing work, it's really quite a minefield.
Yeah. Well, everyone loves a real world example. So can you give me an example of a company or companies where the contingent workforce issues were costing them more than they realised?
I would go as far to say, Craig, that every company that has contingent workers is overspending on that workforce. And I don't mean the wages or the day rates or the rates that the actual people are being paid, but the types of ways that companies engage their workforce that are not employees are quite vast, from staffing or labour hire companies, payrolling companies or employees of record, independent consultants and contractors, and then service providers and vendors. And often the rates and the pay is relatively similar, but the margins and the way that contracts are constructed are quite different in all of those categories of non-employee workers.
How does poor management of contingent workers affect not only cost, but compliance and employee experience?
So from a compliance perspective, visibility is key, and often companies don't know who are working for them, so therefore they have no way of understanding the right to work, whether someone has the rights to work in any environment to start with, whether or not they have insurance coverage, whether or not they're paying awards or fair work, fair pay.
Right.
There's a range of compliance perspectives around site access or building access or security access. Companies often hand out laptops and site passes, and they don't take them back often too. So the non-employees are often scattered, so it's quite difficult for companies to try and understand how to capture that. From a brand perspective and an experience perspective, I actually think that's moving more positively these days. Craig, I've been in the industry a long time, and I used to see days where contractors had a different colour badge because they wanted to be considered and known to be non-employees, which is just awful. But I think that companies know that they've got to access skills and capability and talent in many ways now. So I actually think the experience for a contractor or a non-employee is on the rise, which is great.
Yeah, I think that even, the fact that the tenure or, average tenure has come down for permanent employees, that they need to treat contingent workers exactly the same way, because you're looking to engage and keep them there for the length of work. And quite often, as well as I do, that contingent workers are extended, that whatever contract, every statement of work they have, they're often extended, so you want to keep them engaged in the business as well.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you think of the generational differences in the workforce today and the choices that people have around how they'd like to work, there's nothing better than an experienced executive or senior professional wanting to wind down their career and work as an advisor or as a consultant. As much as different generations have got a patchwork of skills and a patchwork of roles these days too, so you've got to be open to how to engage different types of workers in different ways.